So we've now switched over easily, and what I did was I selected the VGA input on the remote control of our scalar switcher unit here, and I then went through to AV and selected the HDMI input number 1. Now you're probably asking the question, is it working? Well, let's now wind up the audio. And we can hear the beautiful sound of Wellington-based pop-opera group Trebell coming through, sparklingly clear, dynamic sound, and it's all coming through on this one cable. Now that's the power of using a scalar switcher like this and a very affordable high definition unit that takes all of that ugly cable and puts it all through on one. Now, can you imagine this? You've got one cable to feed up through the wall or on the outside of the wall to connect to your unit here that you can see here, and you don't have to connect any of these cables here, so no need to try and feed these up through the inner wall, or even if this unit is sitting on a cabinet underneath, you don't want these ugly cables coming up between the stack of equipment up through to the back of the equipment, the display equipment. So that's the beauty of that. Now look at this. If you suddenly found out, and in actual fact you had another ton of gear that you wanted to connect, you suddenly have all of these inputs available for your use. Now that's pretty remarkable. So that's one way and one benefit as we seem to be accumulating equipment, new models, new additions, new ways of viewing and listening to our media. We suddenly have this expansion ability and putting it all still through one cable. And if we really getting that large volume of equipment, we still have all of these that we can use. We have no need to try and feed up half a dozen thick cables with connectors up through the wall or trying to hide it in capping. So that's the beauty of using a scalar. And of course, now this is where the left brain, right brain, trying to coordinate left and right remotes and so forth really comes in, because all we need to now do is we set on the plasma or the LCD that you're viewing, we just leave it always on HDMI 1, because that's the only signal coming into our display device, right? And now we just go through and select what are we going to watch, and we just select it on this here because we know that this is always going to be defaulted to HDMI 1, which is going to be a lot of our signals. Now, one thing you might be asking with Freeview and so forth, of course, yes, you can play Freeview through the scalar and still take advantage of the one cable, or if your display device allows you to plug an antenna, this is an analog antenna here, input here, you could do that, or you can place it onto your network through this port. And as you well know, a lot of display devices now are having the Freeview decoder built into the unit, and of course there's a cable that comes in from the antenna directly into that. So the remarkable flexibility of being able to use an external scalar and scale up, and this is what I really like. You can take an analog signal, which might be from an existing DVD player or media device, and actually scale it up to high definition HDMI coming up through this one single cable here. So a remarkable way to really clean up your act, clean up your stereo system, bring in your different media signals and put it into here. Now, a lot of people may not understand what in actual fact is this connector here, the RS232. Confuses a lot of people, and a lot of people don't know really how to explain it. So what this allows you to now do is control this whole unit through a control system such as an AMX or Crestron or so forth, and you can actually control this automatically from the touch screen, so that it automatically will switch in conjunction with maybe dimming the lights, dropping the projector screen down, turning the projector on, making the cup of coffee. No, I'm just joking. But all of those types of things can be controlled through here. So this is an important function and feature, allowing you to future-proof your switching capability on the Conixe 391 switcher scaler. Thanks a lot for listening. Hope you found this little tutorial helpful, and maybe take some of the cable hell nightmare that you experience because of all the devices you're trying to connect up.